Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Meatycraft. Meatycraft. All right, you guys. So obviously, once again, I have moved things around. I've gone back to the Sortex Fanver texture pack because it's kind of fitting, like, for Meatycraft. This was one of my favorites for a long time. I mean, it still is one of my favorites, but for a long time, this is what I played with. What this texture pack reminds me of, there was another texture pack called, I think it was Minecraft Enhanced or something like that. It's like it took basic Minecraft and just made it like HD, basically. It didn't go crazy over the top. I really like just how clean it looks and all that. I mean, some people might not like it. I really do like, I really do. I like, look at the cows and stuff. So if you guys can see, hopefully it's coming through. This overlay was done by Hired Assassin, one of my longtime meatheads. He's been around for a long time. He plays Call of Duty a lot with guns. And I played a little bit with him, but he's real active on Twitter with me, and has always been real active on both Meatwagon22 and You Always Win. And he's like, hey, you know, I had some spare time. I made this up real quick. And I said, hey, I got home. I downloaded it from his Dropbox, and I'm going to try it out. I know you guys didn't like the other one because it had covered so much. That one was from a live stream. It's just something a little bit different, you know. The outline around me, though, I feel like singing Christmas songs. Does it kind of remind you of a Christmas board? The bottom is incredible. The top one, I think, with the grass, it's like a wreath. You know, I'm almost feeling like Frosty the Snowman was a jolly... Oh my gosh. You know what? I think it's time that we move into my house. At least the bottom floors. So what do we've got? We've got some gold. You guys are like, forget the Minecraft, Meaty. What are you going to talk about today? Well, there's a couple of things. One thing that's pretty cool is that I am going to do a new, like, right now the plan for it is once a week. Okay, once a week. And it's going to be a show. It's going to be a, what am I going to call it? Because I hate the word vlog. Okay, you guys saw the video I did, like after the first gun video, I did a video where basically like the camera was right up in my grill, right? Right up in my mug. It's going to be like that. It's just me, not gameplay. I don't know, there's not a lot of room in here. I've got computers and everything everywhere. I've got the other room where I did the gun videos. But I'm gonna take a chance here. Hold on. Let me hold on. Hold the phone, guys. We have some serious things to do real quick. And I didn't bring wood. Nice. There's Mr. Fuzzy. Now you guys know. You guys are like, Sortex is where Fuzzy came from. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy is currently a zombie. All right, Fuzzy. You were missed. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back, my good friend. All right. We need wood. We need a buto to get in the house. Fuzzy! I killed your cousin Daryl. This is my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. How you doing? My name Willie. Willie Ray Cyrus. All right. Get on in. See, I'm thinking about putting my bed up here right now so I don't have to move it again. This is a move. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And the bed has been placed, ladies and gentlemen. For some reason, I almost just broke it. It's like it's so used to playing. Should I make him just another button instead of a? That's fine. I really like the wooden buttons. I like that addition. Okay, where do I start? There's so much I wanted to talk about. Oh, I was saying about the show. Okay, so the other room where I did the gun videos, it's because I don't know if you guys remember, I redid the floors, the hardwood floors. I had them redone. I did them in my last house. We did them. Me and my girlfriend did them ourselves. This time, I'm like, no, I don't have the time nor the patience to do this right now. So I just had somebody do them. But that room was like, it's I don't want to use that. It's it's a spare room. It was my my girlfriend's like office, not office, but where she looked at her computer stuff and all that. So all right, let's just do it. Just do it. I'm not even going to worry about the organizational aspects of this. Glass panes. Gimme. So when I did the videos where I did the gun videos in there, and I made the little back things with the pegboard and all that stuff, and I haven't taken that down yet. I haven't taken that down yet, and I really didn't get any more. For now, I'm going to put this stuff in there. That should allow me to get everything else. So it's possible that like I could do a little backdrop or something like that, but realistically, that's not really my room for that. It's we need to redo it, as a spare bedroom or something. Like when guns come to town, I've got another room, but it'd be nice to have that one finished. So I didn't want to have it where I couldn't have regular access to that room. This would be a good spot. Is this the center? Yeah. All right, we'll do that. And let's just go ahead and make double chest, and we'll put it right here. All right, so wood, dirt, wood, dirt, sand. Well, you know what? I'm gonna put. Well, for now, I'm gonna put everything in here, and then probably do one of those there. Let's go back and get the rest of our stuff. So anyway, I tend to make short stories long. So, it's possible I could do something like that. I could do something here. But basically, it's just going to be my mug talking to you guys. And the premise of it is, for those of you guys who do watch Meatycraft, who enjoy this format, I think that you're really going to enjoy that. Because the idea stemmed from Meatycraft. The idea of talking about topics and stuff. But like I said in the prelude to it, it was that Meatycraft is stuff that I think of, the stuff that comes to the top of my mind and I start thinking about. This other thing is going to be something where you guys send me topics that you want me to talk about. Like, not just, let's see, like how do I explain it? It's going to be, maybe you want to hear my opinion on something, where it's going to be a little selective with that, because we're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about religion, right? Though there's no, you guys know, right? Opinion, respect, all that stuff, how I am. There's no way to have a legitimate, sane conversation with differing points when it comes to politics and religion. So we will not be talking about that, okay? That's the only thing that's basically off limits, because to each his own. I do not try and tell people what to believe in. I don't try and tell people my views politically, even though I'm sure I'm an open book, I tell you what, to be fair, I will give you a little quick overview of my, not necessarily my beliefs, but I'll give you a quick little thing. When it comes to politics, okay, guns are not the first thing that I think of. Like, oh, I'm a gun owner, I love guns, I support people who support gun rights. That's not what I do. I think that's, to me, that's not the most important thing. It's important to me, yes, because it's one of the things that I enjoy collecting, and it's one of the things that I do, and I think it's important, but it's not number one on the list. Okay. Did I want to make it out? You know what? I'm going to make it out of this color. That's fine. What is number one on my list is taxes. Taxes and things like that. So taxes, oh my gosh. Forever living here in California, and we're not talking about YouTube now. We're talking about my normal day job, right? My normal day job. And the taxes that I pay, it's like, let me put things into perspective for you. If you made $10, say you had a lemonade stand and you were out there for 2 hours and you sold enough lemonade to make $10, the government, for me, takes $5 of my 10. They take over half of what I make. So you see what's important to me? It's important to me how and who and what can be done with taxes, because that's a lot. You bust your butt for 2 weeks, whether it's 40 hours a week, 60 hours a week, whatever it is, but every 2 weeks you get paid, right? And then this should be a triple stare. And then you get your check and 52% of it is gone. It's like, okay. And then I get, this is why it's tough to talk about things with other people, because someone else may not be in my position. They may pay more taxes. Actually, I'm in one of the highest tax brackets there is in California, just because I don't know how to explain it. If I knew how to explain it, maybe there was something else I could do about it. But there's people that make a lot more money than me that pay less taxes because, for whatever reason, they're smarter, they have better accountants, they invest their earnings better, or they invest their earnings, period, where I don't have like money to invest and to park my money in some investment and somehow get a tax loophole. All right. But then there's other people that may not have a job, and they're like, well, at least you got a job. And it's like, you see what I mean? It just starts to snowball, having conversations. Like, you try and be understanding of someone, but when they're not understanding of you and they start to kind of go on the attack, like accusations, accusing you, well, at least you got a job. It's like, okay, well, if I offer you a job, will you take it? Will you get up every day and go to work for 8 to 10 hours a day and then take half the money you earn and give it to the government? And they say no. Or some say yes. You never know what they're going to do. They may want it, they may not. But the bad thing about it is, there's a lot of people that say, no, I don't want to work. I don't have to work. The government gives me money. It's like, well, no, the government is giving you my money. And see, then the landslide starts. So you can't have that conversation, because there's a lot of people on both sides of the fence. It's like, and in the middle, that say, well, it's your duty as an American citizen, and B, as a human being, to take care of these other people. It's like, is it? I mean, that's weird, right? It's weird for me because I talked about it. I grew up extremely poor. My family never had food stamps or welfare, any of this stuff. They all worked. They worked their butts off. they work their butts off at bad jobs. See, that's the thing. A lot of people say, I don't want that job. That's a bad job. I want that job over there. I don't want to work at McDonald's making, I don't even know what minimum wage is. I don't want to work at McDonald's making $10 an hour. I want to be an automations and electronics expert making X amount of dollars an hour. Okay, how about you have 20 years experience and you have this schooling and you have practical field application and all this stuff that you see what I mean? It's a never-ending circle when you talk about politics and religion. Religion, people really get crazy because that's their beliefs. You don't want to argue with someone about their firm beliefs on life and death and the Bible, the Quran, whatever it may be, whatever it is. You can't talk about those things. You can't unless you want to be one of those antagonistic type channels or podcasts or videos where it's kind of like boom, 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 and then afterwards you're like, thank you for joining in on the conversation. I'm not into that because I am the type of person that would get way too aggressive with that, right? If it becomes that sort of discussion, right? I can be as understanding and open to opinions as the next person, but when it starts to get to that level, then I'm going to win the argument. I'm going to win the discussion. I'm going to win the conversation. Do you understand what I mean by that? What I mean is I'm going to be super aggressive with my point of view because you're being super aggressive. But when it's a battle of wills, I will win. Oops, sorry. I will win. That's just me. That's like my internal competitiveness, my internal philosophy and belief that, when you're kind of backed into a conversational corner, right? Because I could sit there and I could listen to your opinion and say, hey, that's cool. I don't think that way, but that's cool. That's cool for you. It sounds kind of unique and understanding. Not that kind of conversation. I'm talking about where they start finger pointing and they're in your face. Then it's on. Everyone's got a switch, right? I don't claim to be a pacifist. What I try and do is I try and have an open outlook on life in general, right? But it does not mean that I don't get upset. I don't get angry. I don't yell. I don't, be real aggressive. I'm a human being. If I wasn't all of those things, including all of these other things, I wouldn't be a complete person. And I wouldn't be honest with you guys if I said, no, I'm meaty all day long. I smile from when I get up to when I go to bed. But I tell you what, I am a pretty happy person now. And that kind of segues into today. Today is Tuesday the 2nd. Okay. So just today I was at a job and I was waiting for somebody else to finish up. So I was catching up on Twitter from Saturday, Sunday, Monday because I had to work, I got busy, all kinds of stuff. I wasn't able to look at Twitter. So as usual on my phone, I'm looking at Twitter and I'm catching up and responding to some people and making some tweets and stuff. And I didn't tweet it out, but I said it to myself when I was gonna tweet it out. And it's the honest truth, you guys. When I think of, how do I say it? The community, right? When I think of the meatheads, when I think of all the people who watch Meat22, along with all the people that watch You Always Win together, that community, the people who watch myself and Guns and us playing together, it makes me smile. It's like the interactions that I have with all of you guys on Twitter and just the responses, the questions, just like I said, the back and forth, the interaction, the videos, all of this stuff together. If you think about it, all encompassing, it makes you smile because it's a good thing. It's like, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. If there's some way I can share that feeling, that's what I try and do with everyone else, and everyone can kind of, because say you had a bad day. Say you had a bad day, and you're like, I just, oh, jeez, I don't have a good sword. Please don't kill me. I'm hiding under the stairs. I should really make a Should make at least an iron sword. So, you know, if I can pass that on, you know, to you guys as well, that feeling, right? It's so awesome. Anyway, so far off on a tangent. It goes back to the video I'm going to do where the topics, we're not going to talk about religion or politics, but anything else. Now, what I would like to do is keep it not as a Q&A. I don't want you just to necessarily ask me a question. Like I can do that stuff on here, but I don't really know what your question is. I might do something different just for that. But this is more like topics like, hey, Meaty, what do you think of this? Or it's like, hey, from Anonymous, I'm having trouble at work with my boss. This, and this is happening. Do you have any advice on this situation? Hey, I've been working really hard and I want to go and ask my supervisor for a raise. Do you have any thoughts or any life experience with this that you could help me out, you know? Something like that. Or hey, I'm having trouble at school. My friend, I don't want to be like a psychologist. Do you guys get the gist? Basically, you're going to send me topics or things that you'd like to hear from me, and I'll filter through them. And I want everybody to understand that I expect a lot of them coming in. So I absolutely will not be able to get to them all. I'm going to have to skip over some. All right. If it's something really, really important, hopefully like we can figure out a way in the topic or something that we can try and grab those. But I may ask you to resend your question, stuff like that. I'll do the best that I can, but you understand that it's definitely going to be limited. If I get 1,000, topics, I'm not going to be able to talk about them all, but I'll try and pick the ones that I think would be helpful, that'll be entertaining and fun and other things. So you guys start kicking around your head a little bit about maybe what you want to do, and I'll announce pretty soon how we're going to do this. So I think that's going to be really fun. It's going to be really fun. I really didn't do much this episode, guys. I'm sorry. I get off on a tangent. I want to talk to you guys. But the house is looking pretty good. The house is looking pretty good. I think we'll do... I tell you what we'll do. We're going to do 2 episodes right now. We're just going to keep this rolling. I need to get water, though. And then, so, basically, bye. I'll see you next episode, right? But I guess I could do that right now. Just keep... All right, let's do this officially. Watch this. This is live. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this episode of Meatycraft.